All right, good afternoon, everybody. It's time once again for Strat-O-Matic Baseball, the Friday edition, 1966 replay. We're moving on to May the 18th. First game on the schedule for that date, Boston Red Sox at the Baltimore Orioles. Orioles, of course, in first place in the American League with a 19-8 record. Red Sox come in 13-16. Two good righties on the mound today, Earl Wilson for the Red Sox, Jim Palmer for the Orioles. As you can see there by Wilson's card, he'll finish the year with Detroit. And greetings to Kelly, Mike, and Franklin, and Michael. The Kalamazoo Growlers. Okay, Mike, you got to explain that one. You lost me there. Let's take a look at the advanced side of their cards here. Both pitchers with good cards, not outstanding cards, but solid. What have they done so far in the replay? Well, let's take a look. Earl Wilson, 3-1 with a 3.47 ERA. This will be his 8th start. He has 2 complete games, 33 innings, 29 hits, 15 walks, 22 strikeouts. Oh, okay, the Northwoods League. Are any of you guys playing in that? No, I imagine we're all too old for that. Well, maybe not Ben. There's Jimmy Jam. Welcome, Jimmy. For Jim Palmer here, despite a pretty good card, he comes in 3-2, but with a very high 6.17 ERA. And the problem for Palmer, quite frankly, has been base on balls. In 42 innings, he's walked 27, and then compounded that by giving up 12 home runs. That's a lot of home runs for 42 innings. Good grief. That's the most on the staff by far. Wally Bunker's given up 6. That would be the second highest total on the Baltimore staff. So Palmer with twice that many. Wilson's given up 8. That leads the Boston staff. Of course, both of these pitchers have also worked quite a few innings. And there's Bob Cole. Welcome, Bob. Let me get a drink of water here. Kind of ease into it on a Friday. Yeah, so the the Northwoods League is a college league. Oh, it's collegiate. Okay, duh. Boy, don't I feel silly now. A college summer wooden bat league. Well, Jim Palmer's taking... Darn, here we go again. Something in the air here the last few days. Get a sip of coffee. As Palmer warms up, we'll get you the Boston lineup. Rico Petrocelli leading off at short. Excuse me. Blow out the old pipes. Lenny Green in center in the 2 spot. Carl Yastrzemski hits third and left. George Scott will be at first base batting cleanup. Tony Conigliaro is in right hitting 5th. Dalton Jones back in the lineup at second base. He hits 6th. Joe Foy, the third baseman, hits 7th. Bob Tillman catching today hits 8th, and Wilson, a good hitting pitcher, in the 9 spot. For the Orioles defensively, Andy Etchebarren behind the plate, Boog Powell at first, Davey Johnson, Luis Aparicio up the middle, the vacuum cleaner Brooks Robinson down at third base, and the outfield left to right of Bleffery, Snyder, and Frank Robinson. Three and a half dingers per 9. Yeah, it's not pretty. It hasn't been so far. And I have to think most of the damage off the hitters' cards, looking at it a little more closely here, you've got a 6-2, 1-9, a 6-9, 1-7 against lefties. Righties a little bit more, the 6-11, 1-16, and a 6-9, 1-10. Would be interesting to see what the lefty-righty breakdown is, so let's do that. Palmer's faced, not quite twice as many right-handed batters, but it's pretty evenly split. 4 home runs to lefties, 8 to righties. And greetings to Frank. Yeah, good point, Frank. I was going to mention that, in fact. Jim Palmer never gave up a grand slam. Like many of the control pitchers, most of their home runs came with the bases empty. That's what made the walks more astounding to me than the home runs. Palmer, once again, with 27 walks in 42 innings. Very un-Palmer-like. Of course, remember, he was like 20 years old here. So he's ready to work. Here's Petrocelli to get us started. Rico hitting .274 on the season. 3 home runs, 13 RBIs. Palmer into the windup now, and here we go. It's a 3-7 right-handed base hit up the middle. Petrocelli with a sharply hit single, and we are underway. Rico not a threat to steal. Ben for the Orioles. I know Franklin's for the Orioles. Although I have not seen Franklin yet. Let me refresh the chat. There he is. There he is. Frank's got his money on the Red Sox. So here's Lenny Green. Green, 10 for 55, just hitting just 182. No homers, 6 RBIs. The left-handed hitting outfielder standing in now. Palmer out of the stretch. Comes in with a 6-12 lefty. It's a grounder to first base X. That'll be Powell. Ranging to his right, a 3E17, and here's the play. Error range. It's a 4 on an E17, and he boots it. Error Powell. Oh my goodness. Now the Red Sox have something going right away here. And a shout out to Gerald who's entered the chat. Bear with me, guys. I'm trying to clear out the chest here. Okay, here's Yastrzemski now. Yastrzemski hitting .252, 4 home runs, 17 RBIs. Palmer in trouble already here, a single and an error. First and second, nobody out. From the stretch, the pitch to Yaz is going to be a 4-11 left-handed. It's a grounder to first base. Powell has it. Down to Aparicio for 1, and that's it. That'll be a force play, 3-6. Green coming in hard on the slide, breaks up the double play. Petrocelli will take third. Runners at the corners, 1 away. I do not have a cold. No, it's just, I don't know what it is. Pollen. It's been that way a couple of days. Okay, how are we going to play this now? Early, we're going to play at double play depth. George Scott at the plate. Scott hitting .235. 7 home runs, 18 RBIs. Palmer from the stretch. The pitch to Scott at 3-8 is a high fly ball to deep left field. Over by the line is Blefary. That's down and rolls into the corner. Here comes Petroselli to score. Here comes Green to score, and Scott stops at third with a triple. And there's the daily triple. 2 RBIs for Scott. 2-0 Red Sox. Here's Canigliaro now. Tony hitting .286, 5 home runs, a team leading 20 RBIs. They will pull the infield in now with 1 down. Scott at third. The pitch to Canigliaro. 3-8 right-handed, and he loses him. Ball 4. So Palmer really having all kinds of trouble here in the first. Walks Canigliaro. Still only 1 away. And here's Dalton Jones. Jones playing second base. George Smith has been the starter most of the time at second base. Jones has been playing more of late. Puzzling to me with that 4E34. It does seem weird, doesn't it, Perry? And greetings, by the way. And there's Jeff. How about that? Yeah, I might be able to do that, Jeff. It's going to be touch and go with me for the next week, however, as the second wave of family arrives this evening. So my schedule will be hit and miss for the next week. Dalton Jones playing second base is 8 for 37 on the season. This is his 17th game. He's hitting .216. Does not have an RBI. Runners at the corners. Infield is back from the stretch. The pitch to Dalton. 1-6. Grounder to first. It's Powell. To Aparicio. Back to Powell. A 3-6-3 double play. And Palmer wiggles out of it. Cheaply enough. 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 left on. After half an inning of play, it is Boston 2. Baltimore coming to bat. Here's Wilson getting loose now. Let's get you the Baltimore lineup. Russ Snyder will lead it off in center. Luis Aparicio in the 2 spot at shortstop. Frank Robinson in the 3 spot in right field. Brooks Robinson will bat cleanup and play third base. Kurt Blefary in left field hits 5th. Boog Powell at first hits 6th. Davey Johnson, the second baseman, hits 7th. Andy Etchebarren behind the plate hits 8th. And Palmer, the pitcher, bats 9th. Defensively, for the Red Sox, it's Bob Tillman doing the catching. George Scott at first. Jones at second. Petroselli at short. Joe Foy down at third base. On the outfield, left to right of Yastrzemski, Green, and Canigliaro. And I'm going to take a short break and use some scope. See if I can clear this up a little bit, okay? All right, not sure how much that's going to help. One thing's guaranteed, it will make this coffee taste funny. Yeah, I played a game with Jeff once live. I managed the Giants against the Phillies. Pirates and Braves in 1 week. Probably that would work. Yeah, a week from now. And you bought the 62 set. Interesting. How is the 69 coming along? You must be getting close to the end there. No, I'm not sick. This is what happens when you smoke for 42 years, I think. That's nothing more than that. Okay, we're ready to go to the bottom of the first. Russ Snyder to lead things off for the Orioles. Snyder hitting .267, that's 8 for 30. No homers, 1 RBI. Left-handed hitting outfielder. Wilson set now. The windup and the pitch is a 5-5 single to 2. That liner is snared by Scott. So 1 away. Aparicio, the hitter. Aparicio hitting just .219, 1 homer, 9 RBIs. Wilson gets the sign from Tillman. Here's the pitch. That's a 5-7 right-handed, swung on and missed, strike 3. 2 down, and Frank Robinson will be the hitter. Robinson's hitting .333, 10 home runs, 28 RBIs. All 3 totals among the league leaders, as he chases the Triple Crown, which of course he achieved in real life. Wilson into the windup. Here's the pitch to Big Frank. It's a 5-5 single to 13 on a 12. That's past Petrocelli, just under his glove and into left field for a base hit. And Robinson's aboard with the 2-out single. That'll bring Brooks Robinson to the plate. Brooks batting .327 so far, 3 home runs, 18 RBIs. Wilson now working from the stretch. Comes in there with a 3-5 right-handed, and he walks him. So Wilson gets 2 quick outs, then a base hit and a walk, and the Orioles have the tying runs on base with 2 down. It'll be up to Kurt Blefary here in the first. Blefary hitting .330 on the year. 6 home runs, 21 RBIs. This Baltimore offense, as a team, hitting .287 with 36 home runs. Wilson staring in now. There's the pitch to Blefary on a 6-10 left-handed as a grounder to shortstop X. Petrocelli into the hole. Tough play for Rico, a 2E38. And here's the roll. He's got it. Shovels it over to Jones for the force. And that will retire the side. 6-4X, side retired. For Baltimore, no runs a hit, they leave 2. And after an inning of play, the Red Sox lead it 2-0. I have to admit, I haven't caught one of your games in a while, Jeff. This has been kind of a busy family time for me. My cousin and his dad and his wife, youngest daughter, they left a week ago. Well, almost a week ago. He left Sunday. And then my uncle and his wife will be here this evening, and they're staying for a week. So it's been hard enough for me just to work in games here and there and keep my replay going. I might have a friend coming up in September as well. And then in October, I take my annual trip to Morro Bay, California. Okay, to the second inning we go. Joe Foy leads off as the bottom third of the Boston order comes to bat here in the second. Foy leads the club in batting at .309. 6 homers, a dozen RBIs. Palmer gets the sign from Echeverry. Comes into Foy with a 1-4. Fly ball into right field. Robinson drifting back. Just shy of the track, pulls it in. And here's Tillman. Bob Tillman, the catcher, 16 for 52 on the season. That's a 3.08 average. No home runs, 7 runs batted in. As Palmer comes into Tillman with a 2.8 righty, and he walks him. 1 out walk to the catcher Tillman. That'll bring up Wilson. Wilson, a pretty good hitting pitcher. Right-handed batter, 7 with end power. He's going to swing away. Palmer out of the stretch. That's going to be a 4-7 single to 1. That liner is speared by a diving Brooks Robinson. Oh my God, what a play. So Wilson's bid for a base hit denied by the vacuum cleaner at third known as Brooks Robinson. And here's Rico Petrocelli. Rico singled his first time up. Runner at first with 2 down. Palmer from the stretch. That's a 2-12 comebacker. Palmer snares it. Takes a couple steps towards first and tosses it to Powell to retire the side. No runs, no hits, 1 left on. Palmer settling down in the second. And here's Wilson getting loose now as I catch up on a lively chat today. Quite a few guys here. Yeah, that's true, Frank. In fact, a lot of Jeff's games occur before I even wake up. Hot Dog Jackson, 57 home runs. Ben's going to get some overtime. And 116 wins. Which season is that, Jeff? Where the Twins had 116 and the Orioles 114. Mariners had 116 in 2001. Oh, nice. So you've got a live competition for the ALCS. Oh, wow. So the Twins ended up with more wins than the Orioles. Holy cow, I'm shocked. Boog Powell lead off the bottom of the second for the Orioles here in 1966. Powell comes in with a .330 average, 8 home runs and 21 RBIs. The 8 home runs would place him among the league leaders as Wilson comes back. That's a 3.8 right-handed, and Boog reaches out and pokes it into left field for a base hit. So Powell with the leadoff single. Davey Johnson will be the batter now. Davey hitting .273, 1 homer, a dozen RBIs. Wilson out of the stretch now. Comes in with a 5-5 right-handed. That's a single just past the outstretched glove of Petrocelli. Powell will hold at second. So Baltimore, bang, bang, 2 singles in the second. And the tying runs are aboard with nobody out. Here's Andy Etchebarren now batting .320 so far. 4 home runs, 14 RBIs. Wilson from the stretch. 4-11 right-handed. Base hit into right field. That's an open single. Powell could try to score on that. Probably won't. He's a 1-9. Canigliaro a 0. They're going to hold him up, play it safe. Powell, they put the brakes on Powell at third. And the bases are loaded on 3 consecutive singles. And the pitcher, Jim Palmer, due up. Palmer, a C bunter with a very slow runner on third. That pretty much takes the squeeze play out of the question here. Palmer will hit away. Right-handed batter won, but with end power. As Wilson comes in with a 1-8, he struck him out, not surprisingly. One away, and here's Russ Snyder now. Wilson, an eye down at third base. Now comes back. Full windup. Pitch to Snyder is a 5-4 left-handed grounder to third base X. Tough play for Foy. A 4E25. Here's the play. On a 16, he's got it. Down to Jones for one. To Scott, not in time, and a run will score. So it's a 5-4 force for Snyder. Powell comes in to score. Gives Snyder an RBI on the play. 2-1 Boston. Runners at the corners, 2 down, and here's Aparicio. Aparicio struck out his first time against Wilson. Snyder at first, not a threat to run. Let's check the Boston battery, though, just in case. Wilson a +4. Tillman a +3. Okay, that's a +5. That's as bad as it can be. So he'd be an 18 not held, but with a very low chance of getting the lead. On balance, probably not worth it. Aparicio's going to hit away. Full windup now. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a 6-3 right-handed. It's a fly to left field X. That's Yastrzemski, the Gold Glover, with a 1E6 out there. Yastrzemski going back on a 20. He makes the catch for the out. That'll retire the side. Nice play, yes. 7X. Baltimore will settle for a run. Wilson got out of that pretty cheaply. Bases loaded and nobody out, and the Orioles only able to plate one. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. After the 1968 season, when Yastrzemski won the batting title with a .301 average, the powers that be were afraid that they were nearing a period in time where they could be looking at having a batting champion hit under 300. That was not palatable. We move along to the third in a 2-1 ball game. Lenny Green will start it off for the Red Sox. Reached on an error his first time up. Palmer into the windup. 5-8 left-handed, swung on and missed, strike 3. Down goes Green. First K for Palmer. And here's Carl Yastrzemski. Made that fine running catch to end the second. Palmer into the windup. Pitch to Yaz. We've got to die down. All right, now where did we go? My apologies, guys. Let me take a break here while I try to find where this die went. There it is. Okay, Mookie, let me have that. All right, I got it. Mookie went over to inspect it. Fortunately, did not try to pick it up. Okay. Yastrzemski fouls one off. Slight delay of game while they get a cat off of the field. Palmer set now his next pitch to Yaz. 3-5 righty, single to 8. That is fielded by Robinson, who fires across in time. Another nice play by Brooks. Brooks basically keeping Palmer in the game here so far. 2 down, here's Scott. Scott tripled in both of the Red Sox runs in the first. Palmer set. The pitch is a 6'9" right-handed. It's a high fly ball into the left center gap. That's down. That's going to roll to the wall. Snyder gets it back in as Scott pulls up with a double. George Scott halfway to the cycle. He's got the triple out of the way. Triple and a double for George Scott. Tony Canigliaro will be the batter with 2 away. He walked his first time up. Palmer checks the runner. Here's the pitch now on a 2-10. Lazy fly to right. Frank Robinson waiting for it to come down, and that'll do it. No runs, a hit, 1 left. We're going to the bottom of the third in a 2-1 ball game. Frank, I have not. It's a tough one. I tell you, in my Strat-O-Matic career, I don't know the exact numbers, but I can tell you I've had a lot more no-hitters than cycles. And welcome to David Cadwallader. A new face in the chat, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, I apologize. Bottom of the third, heart of the order for the Orioles. Frank Robinson, who singled his first time up, will start it off. Wilson gets the sign from Tillman now. Comes in there with a 4-6 right-handed. Robinson bangs a base hit into left field, and he's 2 for 2. A leadoff single for Frank. $13 plus 5, 18 with a 5 and 6 to get the lead. They're going to have to hold him on. The Wilson-Tillman battery, horrific. Plus 7, of course, plus 5 is the most it can be. So at 1-16 with Brooks Robinson up, Frank Robinson's going to try for the lead, 5 or a 6. He does not get it on a 12. And here's the next pitch to Brooks. From the stretch, it's a 4-2 ground ball to shortstop. Petrocelli to Jones to Scott, double play. The 6-4-3 double play erases the runner. And there is Kurt Bleffery, the next batter. Well, whew, that's a relief. Wilson into the windup. 1-8, he walks him. A 2-out walk to Bleffery. That'll give Boog Powell a chance to swing the bat here at the bottom of the third. Powell singled his first time up. Here's Wilson now. From the stretch, it's a 2-10 right-handed, and he loses him, ball 4. So that double play really looming large in this inning now. A single and 2 walks, but as it is, first and second and 2 away. And here's Davy Johnson. He singled his first time up. Wilson taking his time now. Exhales. Here's the pitch to Davy Johnson. It's a 1-7, double to 3. That's down for a base hit. Here comes Frank Robinson. Sorry, in comes Bleffery to score with the tying run. Powell will turn and go into third on an RBI single from Davy Johnson, and we're all tied up here. Let's look at that again. 1-7, a double to 3. The roll is a 12, single 2 stars. And we got a tie ball game. And Andy Etchebarren will be the hitter. You guys know by now you cannot keep this Oriole team down for long. Wilson, runners at the corners, 2 down. Staring in now, the pitch to Andy Etchebarren. 4-5 right-handed. That ball is, we've got a 20 not flat. That's going to be a high fly ball to left center. It's a homer to 10. Double anything else, it's gone. Etchebarren with a 3-run blast, and the Orioles take the lead. Powell scores. Johnson scores. 3 RBIs for Etchebarren, and for Andy Etchebarren, his 5th home run of the season. Rolled a 20-sided 10 at first, however, it was not flat. Had to roll it again and still nailed the home run. Let's take another look at it. It's a 4-5. Homer to 10, double otherwise. Etchebarren has the power, of course. And just like that, it's 5-2. And to quote Ben, that didn't take long. And welcome, Cleveland baseball fan. 2 down, base is empty now, and here's Palmer. The pitch from Wilson is a 3-6 grounder to short. Petrocelli has it over to Scott, and the side is retired. 4 runs on 3 hits, nobody left. We've played 3. It's 5-2 Baltimore. A lot of home run power in this game, on both sides, actually. I have to admit, David, I've seen the name before. And some of you guys will remember this, actually. It was on an episode of The Twilight Zone. I can't remember which episode, but there was a character in there, in the show, whose name was Cadwallader. Maybe somebody will look that one up. I got to roll the dice here, so I can't. Here's Dalton Jones to lead it off for Boston. Dalton grounded into that 3-6-3 double play his first time up. Palmer's set now, working with a 3-run lead, and comes right in there with a 5-8 left-handed and swung on and missed strike 3. Down goes Jones. Second K for Palmer. And here's Foy now. Foy 0 for 1. Palmer set. That's a 2-7 right-handed. Grounder up the middle. Cut off by Aparicio at short. Spins and fires to Powell. 2 down. Aparicio shading Foy slightly up the middle, and it paid off. Here's Bob Tillman with 2 out and nobody on. The pitch from Jim Palmer is a 6-7 right-handed. Grounder to second base X. That'll be Davy Johnson. Johnson ranges up the middle, 2E25. And here's the play on a 12. It's the error range. 6 on a 25. He boots it. Error Johnson. Second error of the game for the Orioles. Very uncharacteristic for this team. And now here's Wilson. I'm thinking about this now. Very good hitting pitcher. Too early to take him out. Palmer comes in there with a 2-6, and Wilson rips a base hit right up the middle. Tillman headed for third. He's going to be in there. Oh my goodness. Wilson helps himself out with a hit. He says, what pinch hitter? There it is. David knows it. Oh yeah, he's seen it. That's awesome. Yes, I remember that. He wanted to live forever, and then he gets life in prison. He was a hypochondriac too, right? Yeah, I remember that one now. Thank you, David. Okay, here's Petrocelli. Runners at the corners, 2 down, trying to get back into this one. Palmer taking his time. Now from the stretch. The pitch to Rico is a 6-7 right-handed. It's a grounder to second base. X. Johnson's going to get another shot to redeem himself here. A 2E25. Here's the play on a 3. He makes a diving stop. Flips from the glove to Aparicio for the force. Holy crap, what a play. That will retire the side. 4-6-X! Exclamation point. It's a web jam by Davy Johnson. And that saves a run. For the Red Sox, no runs, a hit, they leave a pair. So despite the 2 errors, Baltimore playing very solid defense behind Palmer today. Yeah, they've made 2 errors, but they've made some fine plays too. And it'll be the top of the order for the Orioles here in the bottom of the 4th. Russ Snyder to start things off. Russ is 0 for 2 on the day. Wilson getting the sign now. Here's the windup and the pitch to Snyder. It's a 6-8 left-hander, and he pops him up right side. Jones has it. 1 away. And leave it to Franklin. Escape clause. Oh, you guys are good. Here's Aparicio now, 0 for 2. The pitch from Wilson. 3-9 right-handed grounder to second base. Jones has it. Sidearm toss to Scott, and there's 2 down. Here's Frank now, 2 for 2 on the day. Wilson into the windup. 2-11 right-handed as a ground ball into the hole at short. Petrocelli backhands it. Strong throw across in time. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Earl Wilson. We've played 4. Baltimore 5, Boston 2. IMDb, absolutely. That's my go-to. Here's Palmer now getting ready to go to work in the 5th. He'll be looking at Green, Yastrzemski, and Scott. You know, Frank, he is, coincidentally enough. He's on the highest level of the tower. Green 0 for 2. Palmer into the windup. 5-6 left-handed. A grounder wide of second. Smothered by Johnson. Over to Powell. 1 down. That'll bring up Yaz. Yaz 0 for 2 in this one. Palmer gets the sign into the windup. Pitch to Yastrzemski's a 2-7 right-handed. Another grounder to second base. Little Baltimore chop. Johnson coming in on it now on the run to Powell. He's out, and there's 2 down. Here's George Scott now. Scott, we're on cycle watch for Scott. Triple and a double so far. 2 outs, nobody on. Palmer staring in. The windup and the pitch to Scott. 2-3 right-handed is a slow roller to third. Here comes Brooks Robinson. Bare hands on the run to Powell. 1-2-3 inning for Jim Palmer. So Palmer, who started off shaky, has settled down. Quite the opposite for Earl Wilson. Started off strong and then got hit in the third. It certainly happened to better pitchers against this Baltimore lineup, that's for sure. If it sounds like I'm in awe of this 66 Baltimore team, it's because I am. In just 27 games, all I can say is extremely impressive. It's easy to see how they won the championship that year. Here's Brooks to lead off the bottom of the inning now, 0 for 1 with a walk. Earl Wilson is 7 rated for endurance. Comes set into the windup. The pitch to Brooks is a 1-3 right-handed. It's a slow roller to first. Scott will take it to the bag. That's 1 down. And Kurt Bleffery will be up. Right? Bleffery 0 for 1 with a walk. Wilson with the pitch. It's a 2-6 right-handed. That ball is driven to right field. Canigliaro starts back at the track, at the wall. It's gone. Homer to 19. Bleffery just does get out of here on an 18. And it is 6-2. 2-6-19 for Kurt Bleffery. His 7th home run of the season. Here's Powell now. Powell has not been retired today. A single and a walk. Action in the Boston pen. Bucky Brandon will serve as the long man today if necessary. He begins throwing. That's a good topic of debate there, 69 or 70. Which was the better Baltimore team? 1 away, here's the pitch to Powell. 4-7 left-handed. That's a double to 6 on an 11. That's going to hang up in center for Green. Ranges back and makes the catch for the out. And here's Davey Johnson. Johnson 2 for 2. Kept the inning alive in the third for Andy Etchebarren, who deposited one into the left center field seats for a 3-run blast. Wilson into the windup. The pitch to Davies, a 6-7 right-handed. It's a ground ball wide of third. Foy has it. Throws to Scott to retire the side. Orioles pick up a run on the Bleffery home run, however. After 5 complete, they lead it 6-2. Yeah, that's true. That was what I like to call the Brooks Robinson World Series, right? You could make a video just of Robinson's defensive plays in that 1970 World Series. We've played 5 at 6-2 Orioles. Palmer, like Wilson, a 7-rated starter for endurance. We're in the 6th. Tony Canigliaro will lead it off. 0 for 1 with a walk. Palmer gets the sign from Echeverren. Here's the pitch to Tony C. It's a 5-5 right-handed lazy fly ball into right field. Frank Robinson gliding towards the line, and he'll grab it for the first out. And here's Dalton Jones, 0 for 2 in the game. Palmer into the windup. 6-11 left-handed, a base hit up the middle for Jones. So Dalton Jones, a 1-out single. Joe Foy will be the batter. They certainly got upset, that's a fact. Robbed, choked, I don't know about those, but certainly was an upset. Foy's 0 for 2 in this one. Palmer working out of the stretch now. Comes into Foy with a 2-10 ground ball back to the mound. Palmer has it, whirls, fires to Aparicio for 1, on to first, not in time. That'll be a 1-6 force. Foy to first. Jones is erased, and Bob Tillman will be the hitter. Tillman, 0 for 1 with a walk. Palmer ready now. Pitch to Tillman is a 5-4 right-handed. That's a ground ball to third base X, so we know who that is. Been doing it all day with a 1E13 as he dives towards the line. Error range of a 9 on a 13. He makes a fantastic stop to his feet and throws him out. It's a web gem by Brooks Robinson. And what else is new? That'll retire the side. No runs, a hit, 1 left. Oh, God, yeah, I forgot about the shoe polish. Who can forget the shoe polish? Six to 2 Birds as we go to the bottom of the 6th here on a Friday afternoon. Beautiful day in Spokane, 78 and sunny. Echeverren, Palmer, and Snyder do. Echeverren has not been retired today, singled in the 2nd, and the big blow of the game, a 3-run homer in the 3rd. Wilson into the windup, comes into Andy on a 2-5, base hit into center, Echeverren, and Andy Echeverren is 3 for 3 today. Swinging a hot bat, Echeverren came into the game hitting .320, and he's raised his average here today. Palmer, a C bunter. Whoops, hang on. There we go. He's going to lay it down. C on a 2. This could be trouble. He beats out the bunt. Palmer lays it down in no man's land. Between Foy and Petroselli, Foy picks it up. Everybody's safe. And Palmer can do no wrong today. When he makes a bad pitch, someone picks him up, tries to bunt the runner over, and ends up with a single. First and second, nobody out. Brandon's ready in the pen. Here's Snyder. Wilson out of the stretch. That's a 1-4 grounder to the pitcher B. Wilson has it to Petroselli for 1, and that's all they'll get. That'll be a 1-6 force. Palmer's erased. Echeverren to third. 1 out and runners at the corners, and Luis Aparicio will come to bat. There goes Frank with the cats again. I love it. That's where you get this from, isn't it? Now I get it. That's where you get all the Mookie stuff from when he comes onto the field. Double play depth. Wilson trying to get a ground ball here for Luis Aparicio. From the stretch, it's a 3-12. He gets the ground ball, but it's going to score a run. Grounder to first. Scott goes down to Petrocelli for one. Back to Scott, not in time. And a run will score. Echeverrin crosses the plate. RBI for Aparicio, and that makes it 7-2. Here's Frank Robinson now, 2 for 3. Wilson hanging on by a thread here. He's due to lead off the 7th, or he might be out by now. It's a 6-2 right-handed base hit into center. That's an open single. Aparicio can try to go to third. 1-16. Green a +2. 1-18. They're going to send him. Boston will cut the throw off. So Aparicio goes into third. They hold Robinson at first. And here comes Herman, and that's going to be it for Wilson. We're going to have to figure out a double switch here, as he's due to lead off. Wilson's day is done. Bucky Brandon will be coming on in relief. Five 2/3 for Earl Wilson today. He surrendered 4, 7, 8, 9, 10 hits, 7 runs so far. He walked 3, struck out a pair. Okay. The easiest thing to do would be to take Tillman out. So we're going to double switch with the 8 spot. Mike Ryan will come in to catch and go into the 9 spot. E3 with a 0 arm. Much better defensive catcher than Tillman as well. Right, he hexed 2 games. Both in the same series, I think. Here's Bucky Brandon coming on in relief of Earl Wilson. Brandon has appeared in 12 games, 0-2 with a 6.06 ERA in 16 innings of work. 4 rated reliever. The way this game is going, he'll probably be asked to provide some length. First and third, 2 away. Here's Brooks Robinson now. Robbie 0 for 2 with a walk, but he's made his presence felt with the glove in this one. Brandon gets the sign. Here's his pitch. It's a 6-8 right-handed. It's a single to 9 on a 6. That is knocked down by Scott, but he has no play. Another run will score. It's an RBI single for Brooks Robinson. Aparicio crosses the plate. Robinson holds at second. And it's 8-2 Orioles. He loves that tower, Frank. Here's Bluffer. He homered his last time up. Brandon gets the sign from Ryan now. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a 5-7 left-handed. It's a grounder to second base X. Hold your breath, however. That's Dalton Jones, a 4E34. And here's the play on a 3. He's not going to get it. That's a single, 2 stars, and yet another run will come in, and the floodgates are open. RBI single Bluffery. Brooks to third. 9-2 Baltimore. And here's Boog Powell, 1 for 2 with a walk. Brandon comes in with the pitch. That's going to be a 6-4 left-handed. It's a grounder to third base X. That's Foy, 4E25. And here's the play. On a 2, he's not going to get that. That's a 2-star single, and another run will score. And the wheels are coming off of the Boston defense now. Brooks Robinson scores. Bluffery to third. 4 runs in the inning for the Orioles, and it's 10-2, and they will bat around. Here's Davy Johnson, 2 for 3. The pitch from Brandon. That's a 1-8 grounder to shortstop. It's Petrocelli charging on the run to Scott in time. And mercifully for the Red Sox, the inning comes to an end. 4 more across the plate for the Orioles on 6 hits. They leave 2. After 6 innings complete, it's a laugher, 10-2. He's dealing with the warden. Thanks for dropping in, Frank. Appreciate it as always. Another half inning, we'll have the 7th inning Mookie watch stretch. Okay, Mike Ryan's going to lead off the 7th. Came into the game in the double switch. Palmer into the windup. Pitch to Ryan, a 2-6, struck him out. So Ryan down on strikes. Here's Petrocelli, 1 for 3. Palmer, a lot of breathing room now. He's going for the complete game. His first inning of potential fatigue here in the 7th. The pitch for Rico Petrocelli is a 3-7 right-handed. That's a base hit up the middle for Petrocelli. Petrocelli singles, and Lenny Green will be the hitter. Green 0 for 3 on the day. Palmer working out of the stretch. Delivers a 5-7 left-handed single to 15 on a 16. It's snared by a leaping Davy Johnson on a 16. Oh my goodness. It's all Baltimore today. Here's Yastrzemski. Yeah, it's 0 for 3 on the day. Palmer from the stretch. It's a 2-9 right-handed. Grounder down to first. Powell will take it himself. And that's the inning. No runs, a hit, 1 left. And there's John. Welcome, John. Oh, that's good. So you guys were able to complete your transaction, yes? As we stretch for the 7th, I'm going to refill my coffee. And first of all, as is customary here lately, let's take a look at Mookie. He's in the top perch of the tower. And there he is. Hey, Mookie. Meow, meow. Mookie. Well, he moved, but he's not going to look. Anyway, there he is. He loves that tower. Okay, I'm going to get a quick half cup here. Last of the carafe, we'll have to nuke it a little bit. And we are back. He kind of did, Franklin, yes. He was a damn good second baseman. When you're playing on an infield with Brooks Robinson and Mark Belanger, or in this case, Aparicio, it's easy to get overshadowed. Andy Etchebarren will lead off the bottom of the 7th here. Bucky Brandon into the windup. That's a 6'9" right-handed. That is ripped into the gap for a 2-base hit. Etchebarren with a double. Andy Etchebarren, 4 for 4 today. 2 singles, a home run, and now a double. He might get one more at bat. Hell, he had 6 triples that year. That's why I got it, John, because he was getting up on top of the kitchen cupboards. He was getting on top of the bedroom door. What is a door? About 3/4 of an inch thick, maybe? It's amazing what they can do, isn't it? Here's Palmer. He's going to swing away. Huge lead. It's a 3-11 fly ball to center. Green barely has to move, and he'll take it for out number 1. That'll bring up Russ Snyder, the center fielder. Russ 0 for 4 today. Here's the pitch from Brandon. It's a 6-2 lefty, and he loses in ball 4. So Brandon walks Snyder. First and second one away. And here's Aparicio with Frank Robinson looming on deck. Ten to 2 Orioles here. It's pretty much over. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me here on a Friday. Appreciate it. Anyone have any plans for the weekend? Brandon in the stretch now. Aparicio, he throws in a 4-3 right-handed. It's a lazy fly ball into right field. Canigliaro to his right. He'll take it for out number 2. And here's Frank Robinson. Robinson 3 for 4 on the day. Bucky Brandon with the pitch. 5'9" right-handed is a grounder to shortstop X. That's Petrocelli in the hole. A 2E38, and here's the play. On a 13, he makes the play, turns and fires to Jones for the force, and that will retire the side. 6-4 No runs a hit, 2 left on. We've played 7. It's a laugher. Orioles 10 to 2 over the Red Sox. Oh yeah, squirrels too. Palmer with a huge lead, very good odds of the complete game today. He only has 1 complete game so far in 6 starts, looking for his second. He'll be facing Canigliaro, Jones, and Foy in the 8th. Tony C. 0 for 2 with a walk in this one. Palmer into the windup. Pitch to Tony's a 5-7 right-hander. It's a double to 5 on a 9. It's going to hang up in center for Snyder, who hauls it down for the first out. Here's Dalton Jones now 1 for 3. The pitch from Jim Palmer. 5-10 left-handed. Fly to right and shallow. Here comes Frank Robinson. He's there. 2 outs quickly in the 8th. And the batter will be Joe Foy. Foy 0 for 3. Palmer the windup. The pitch. 3-6 right-handed. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Palmer closing with a flourish here. Just needs 3 outs now for the complete game. History Maker Baseball, John, that's one I have not heard of. I know there's a lot of games out there. I couldn't possibly have heard of all of them. I have enjoyed observing a couple of new ones here, thanks to YouTube, of course. Here's Brooks Robinson now to start off the what the hell happened? I forgot to write in Frank's result there. Anyone remember what Frank Robinson did to end the 7th? I'll look for it when we're done. I'm not going to belabor that point now in a game like this. Here's Brooks. Brandon into the windup. It's a 6-5. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Here's Bleffery now. Bleffery 2 for 3 with a walk. Homer back in the 5th. 2 ribbies and a run for Bleffery today. The pitch from Bucky Brandon is a 5-5 left-handed. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. 2 Ks for Bucky Brandon. And here's Boog Powell. Pitch from Brandon is a 6-9 left-handed. That is ripped into the right center gap for extra bases. Powell rounding. Snyder gets it back in, and Powell holds with a double. And now, heck, I guess we all would like to see Davy Johnson get on just to give Echeverrin another at-bat. Needs a triple for the cycle. Here's Brandon's pitch to Davy Johnson. That's going to be a 2-4 grounder to short. Aparicio throws him out, and that'll do it. So no at bat for Echeverrin in the 8th. No runs a hit, 1 left on. 10-2 after 8 innings. Palmer going for the complete game now. Pitcher's spot to lead things off. Boston will send up a pinch hitter. George Thomas will be the batter. Thank you, Bob. That's a 6-4. That was an X play. Yes, to Petrocelli. Now I don't have to go back and look for it. Appreciate it, Bob. And Cleveland baseball fan came in there with it too. Thank you, Cleveland. So here's Thomas to lead it off. Palmer going for the complete game now. Into the windup. Pitch to George is a 5-12 right-handed. It's a grounder to first base X. That's a tough play for Powell, a 3-E-17. Here's the roll on the play. It's an 11. That's flat. Error range. It's an 8 on a 17. He makes the play for the out. Nice play, Boog Powell. 3-1X will score that. Mike Ryan, it'll have to be Mike Ryan. They don't have another catcher. Palmer into the windup. 6-3 righty is a fly to left field X. That's Bleffery, a 4-E-7. Bleffery races towards the gap. Here's the play. He's not going to get that. That's down for a base hit. Bleffery cuts it off. Ryan rounds and holds with the single. It's no sure thing for the complete game. Obviously, the outcome of the game not in doubt here, but we've seen pitchers tire in the ninth before. And here's Rico Petrocelli. Palmer working from the stretch. Comes into Rico with a 2-8 ground ball to third base. It's Brooks Robinson. Snares it to Johnson for one. On to first, not in time. A 5-4 force. Ryan erased. And the Red Sox are down to their last out. It'll be Lenny Green. The battery's 0 for 4 today. Left-handed hitting outfielder standing in. Palmer, one out from the complete game. And here's the pitch. 5-8 lefty. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. And that's the game. Don't you love games that end with a strikeout? No runs a hit, one left. All Orioles today, 10-2, the final, and I'll have the totals for you in just a moment. Palmer all the way for the win, improves to 4-2. He allowed 7 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned. Walked a pair. He struck out 2, 3, 4. Palmer player of the game. I'd say it's either him or Echeverren. Any thoughts on that? Bucky Brandon, 2 1/3 innings. 3, 4, 5 hits. 1 run. That makes 9 of the runs charged to Wilson. Oh man, that's really going to blow up his ERA, isn't it? He came in at 3.47. Brandon had 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. So the totals on the game. The Orioles in winning 10 runs, 15 hits, 2 errors. Red Sox 2 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. You and me both, Bob. Honestly, after the first inning, I was thinking, here we go again with Palmer, that is. Not a huge deal. I'll split it between them. Players of the game, Jim Palmer and Andy Echeverren. Why not? It's just for fun. We're not keeping track of it or anything. Palmer with a complete game victory. Echeverren 4 for 4. with a 3-run homer. That might be Etchebarren's best offensive game of the whole season. Who knows? Thanks again, guys. I don't know when I'll be back. I'll be visiting over the weekend for sure. I'll get them in when I can. It's kind of like it was a week ago. The next game on the schedule will be the Houston Astros at the Chicago Cubs. Dave Gisti for Houston, Ernie Broglio for Chicago. So I'm going to sign off. Spokane Steve, thanking all of you and wishing you all a fantastic weekend. Take care, everybody. See you soon.